Welcome back to the Ancient Cave of Final Fantasy V. We are on floor 55, and when you see a multiple of 11 on your floor, you know you are dealing with a boss floor. This one is a kind of cool little reference to the Cave of the Gill Turtle, or Jill Turtle. Notice we have these underground guys. I do have float on all of my characters just to make it a little bit easier to get our target. We're going towards Mr. Gill Turtle himself, but as I'm sure you all know, the Gill Turtle is not recommended for the meek, and there's only a few ways that you can beat the Gill Turtle at all. There really are only a couple of ways in the game to take care of it because it has lots of nasty stuff and a lot of immunities and resistances. But you notice the floor is set up. If you're familiar with the Turtle's Cave, the floor is set up almost identical, or maybe it is just a copy paste of the Jill Turtle floor. And I'm just demonstrating what the battle looks like in this one. I do not plan to beat the battle on this particular run. There's just too many resistances that the Jill Turtle has, and it's not really worth it for the amount of gold that you get because, you know, the gold is not all that valuable in this game. There are a few little shops, of course, that you can buy stuff, but like I didn't even get a chance to use that second attack. So that one's going to end in defeat, and that's likely where you're going to end up if you try the Gill Turtle here. In the Ancient Cave, especially if you're doing a single crawl, it's really not worth it. But of course you can just walk right on past the Gill Turtle if you want, and make your way down to floor 66. And this is another prescribed floor. And if you couldn't tell by the music and the layout of the floor, this is a reference to the Fork Tower. And this would be the chest where either the Defender or the Wonder Rod is. But there's not 2 rooms and 2 chests to choose from in here. There's just 1. So taking a look at my equipment, I am just trying to get myself set up for the battle that I know is coming. We need a good mix of magic and physical damage for this battle. And we need to make sure we're very careful about how we execute everything. So I'm just putting some new abilities in place and giving you a chance to look at my equipment and the abilities that I've picked up so far doing this guide. Look at that Genji shield. And of course still using the very high level samurai sword there. And that's some of the saviors in this game, is picking up a late game item very early in this game. Is something that keeps a lot of runs going. And it's the old Omniscient and Minotaur at the same time fight. So I have both of these guys going to be pounding me at the same time, and I have to be very careful about what kinds of skills I use, because Omniscient will have his counters to magic, and well, I guess I don't know if Minotaur. I don't know if he has counters to magic in this one. I didn't actually try that one. Normally your magic is blocked out in that battle, so maybe you could use magic on him, but I decided to go traditional with Minotaur and just go physical on him. Golem, of course, protects me from that. And she absorbed that fire. Or did absorb it, but she nullified the fire attack there. And just hasting characters one at a time. Don't have haste 2 yet, just hasting. And trying to double up on damage for Minotaur. Now, Omniscient can still cast Reset. Omniscient is the same old Omniscient, can cast Reset for these battles. So you have to be careful about hitting Omniscient with something that Omniscient doesn't like to be hit with. So we need to be very careful about what we use. And so she's slowly getting haste on everybody. The quicker you can get that to happen, the better off you'll be. Again, Omniscient is not much of a threat in the back row there, so it's really okay to focus on Minotaur. He starts with mostly buffing spells like regen on himself. I think he can slow your characters in the early part, and then he starts with the first level spells in this one, just like he does in the real game. So if you are, working through your Omniscient battle, he starts with the first level stuff, so he's not going to be doing a ton of damage. And there's a nice sword dance, although doesn't do a whole lot from the back row and with a pretty low attack character. Did less than the either of the attacks from the ninja. I'm okay taking mute on my samurai. I am just fine with that. I guess one thing that going through the Guild Turtles cave would help you with is you could use Guild Toss a lot more. You could be using a lot more Guild Toss. As right now, I'm usually pretty poor in this run because some of these tougher fights you have to use Guild Toss, but high defense enemies, it's, you know, tough because your damage doesn't often go through their defense, your Guild Toss damage, that is. So far, pretty straightforward here with Minotaur and Omniscient. Just my two melee characters poking away at him, and my Magely characters, there's just not a whole lot they can do with him. Although I should have tried some upper level magic on Minotaur there in this battle. So by the way, do check the comments down here. There's a couple of very, very knowledgeable players who are chiming in. The old friend Dryzalaser and Petit Miku are both very knowledgeable about this, more so than I. And have provided a lot of valuable insights and information. So do check those out. They'll often correct things that I get wrong or answer questions that I ask aloud as we're going through these battles. Not much there with the mini. And unlike in a normal run, you might not have all the healing items that you need. You might not have all the healing items like a big stock of luck mallets, or even one luck mallet, as luck would have it for me. So there I've got one of my melee characters is just little mini-me there. And as I was recording this, I was looking around like, is this really how this battle is going to go? Am I really going to tank it to a tiny... tiny song like that? Okay, resetting Golem after taking a big shot. Sword dance from the back row again. His defense and their low multiplier are going to be tough to overcome. Not much damage on the throw, but at least Golem is tanking that damage for them. And you can see the hint there. The Mystery Waltz does not take any MP from Minotaur, because Minotaur has no MP. Critically, has no MP. Actually, I don't know off the top of my head. I could look at the algorithms guide to see if the Minotaur is max MP is 0. I'm assuming that his max MP is 0. Because I think it would be. I don't think any other enemies in the game start a battle with a partial pool of HP or MP. I think they all start every battle with their max MP, so it must be 0. Just thinking myself through that. There's a critical, and here's Gerba. Now behold Holy. And no MP, not enough MP to cast Holy, so now it's on to Omniscient. And this is where my air knife comes in. And we are on to throwing Sildras. We are throwing Sildras at Omniscient for nice damage. And my ninja can finally contribute a little bit. Not a whole lot. But my little mini ninja there is going to be doing more damage with Fire 2 than she would with big ninja stuff. And of course, can't attack or throw anything at Omniscient or he will reset the battle. Here's my other air knife. I did pick up 2. So I have 2 summoners and 2 air knives to boost my Sildras. And coming up in the dungeon here in the next few floors, the random encounters are going to continue to get harder. The items dropped and the spells in the chests are going to continue to get better. There's still a few critical things that I really need to unlock if I'm going to execute my my final plan. There's still a few big things I want to make sure I get. And here is Carbuncle. I was waiting on Carbuncle until I just have Omniscient left, and now I can start pouring the damage in. And actually, I could have amplified that Fire 2. This is a retroactive thing. I could have amplified it by all targeting all 4 reflected characters, casting the Fire 2. You can't amplify that damage when it bounces off of multiple characters. But now he's going to be bouncing himself, and I just predicted that, just like the real Omniscient, he would start to use higher level spells as he got lower in his hit point table. And you can see that he does. He's now using Fire 2. The lowest part, I'm just conjecturing that he would still use some of the even higher level stuff. And I also took a guess when I was recording this that at the end he would try to hit me with Flare. And of course that's nice to be reflected, and he can reflect the final attack back at him. He can hit himself with his own final attack. I think that's justice. And there just isn't much for my Samurai to do here. I just didn't have enough levels of black magic or time magic worked up with that Samurai, because she's been spending almost all of her time as a Samurai, because I'm trying to get her to learn Slash to take out some of the random battles. Enemies that can be hit with the instant death stuff. So this battle is just kind of academic at this point, and here comes Flare. And we will see if that was indeed his final attack, and it was. So 15 AP for everybody, including my little mini knight. So now we'll have to try to continue on, get our ninja back up to a regular size, and go on from here. Looking forward to the next couple of boss floors, and a lot more exciting stuff going on with Final Fantasy V here. If you liked this video or any other ones, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Hit the subscribe button if you have not already. This is what a lot of my content is like, playing challenges and ROM hacks of Final Fantasy I and Final Fantasy V, mostly of what on my channel here. Get in touch with me on Twitter, where I am also active_ATE. Let me know what you think, and keep in touch. We will see you next time.